Good evening and welcome back to the Student StarCraft AI tournament. We have got for you a beautiful setup today because we have got the matches of the round of 16 and unfortunately it will be round of 1 because we had some time constraints on our end. But nevertheless, we've got a fantastic lineup. We got last year's winners, and that is Killerbot, and he is playing TSEMU, who won CIG last year. Then, starting at the other end again, we've got Literbot, always a favorite in the student division, which, da-da-da-dum, he already won over Willybot and Giabot. Then we have got Steamhammer, new Zerg entry, fabulous, making it into the round of 16 on the first try, overkill by Sijashu and Willybot, who took second place as student. Then we've got Triple ZK Bot, who took an impressive second place at CIG last year. University of Alberta Bot by Dave Churchill. Dave just made his PhD in Brute AI, so congratulations. Then we've got Ironbot, the revelation from France, first major tournament where he's hoping to get some prizes. And we've got Icebot from Ice Labs, Ritsumeikan University, Japan, still hailing in the round of 16, even after not being updated for 3 years. Then, a Royal Roader perhaps, B Reaver, is the new Protoss revelation on the server and in the tournament. Might be one of the outsiders for the title this year. And I wonder if the same can be said about Bbot, is a new Terran entry, still very good making it into the round of 16, but if you have been following the round robin matches, it will be very tight for Bbot this time. Then we've got two oldies, Ximp by Thomas Weider, and Ximp is the carrier bot versus Skynet. Skynet still very good. Same goes for Ximp and Skynet and Icebot, that they haven't been updated in a while, but they still make it into the elimination stage of the biggest AI tournament for Brute War. Then we've got Crazio with a still improved Terran, and Flash is a new Protoss. It's very good. I've dubbed it Flash AI. The original name is Flash, but if you put that on Wikipedia, you get all kinds of Yong-Ho thingamajiggies. So, without further ado, let me load on the Brute War game, and we are going live. Because we've got the first game on our hand, and the first game is between Martin Royakkers, also known as Literbot, and Steamhammer, the new Zerg revelation. And Steamhammer I don't know too much about personally, but it's very good because if you make it into the round of 16 of the biggest tournament for Brute War AIs, you are doing something right. And if you are completely new to this and you have no idea what you're watching, first of all you're watching the most beautiful game in the world, which is StarCraft Brute War, made by Blizzard, and it saw the first light in 1989. It's still very popular in Korea and in Europe, but has also been used for I think 5 or 6 years now as a tool for studying AI research at universities. So hence we are the Student StarCraft AI tournament, and that is precisely what it is. It's a tournament for students of AI studying the beautiful art of StarCraft, or the other way around. But be that as it may, we are going to go back to the game because this is what is called the mixed finals bracket. And we earlier had the student division, which was won by Martin Royer's Literbot. We are going to see if he can do the same for the mixed bracket, where also ex-students and other enthusiasts of Brute War or AI or both compete. These are the top 16 bots, and as we are the biggest tournament, this is the best playing field you can ever expect to see. So now let's watch the game. Literbot going for a bio opening with a refinery coming up and just making marines and marines. A couple of Zerglings from Steamhammer, and Steamhammer behind this is building a spire. Allow me to speed it up just a little bit because we have got 8 games and it's just the earlier phases, and I'll slow down for what's considered to be the most interesting part, fighting. Nevertheless, I ought to tell you a little bit about these AI things which are going to behold. The question you may ask, oh, and we've got some mutas and Zerglings now containing the Terran. You may ask, well, why is brute war AI an instrument in AI research? Well, that is mainly because it's a beautiful game. I've said that too often already. It is a very complex game, and the AIs in current research are now at a point where they are starting to creep up on the territory, which is the human mind in playing real-time strategy games. If you have been following the news, Google's DeepMind has beaten a famous Go player. Of course, StarCraft Brute War is more complex than Go, and I'll tell you why. Because a Go board is visible for every player and you can see everything. And as compared to StarCraft Brute War, if you take the view of this Zerg player, he doesn't see what's in the enemy base. So he only sees this, and based on that he's got to make a decision. Get in there, do damage, don't do it, build something else, perhaps get a scout in and counter the attack. So that's very, very hard to do. Also, well, compared to Go or chess, the pieces are much more complex. So in chess you've got pawns, you've got about 5, 6, 7 pieces. In StarCraft Brute War you've got 3 races which are not entirely asymmetrical, but if I explain the fun of the game, I say, well, it's real-time chess with 3 colors, and you've got a board with 128 by 128 with multiple layers, and there is also a hidden layer of cloaked units. So that's one of the challenges. Another challenge is, aside from the decision making and the lack of information, is pathfinding, or basically predicting what your enemy is going to do. So we're going to speed it up because we've got a bit of a standoff on our hands. We've got the Marines in the bunkers and the turret, and now the medics. And we've got a flock of about 15 Mutalisks. They are hovering and hovering and hovering. So now the Marines move out, and the Mutas are doing the level best. But as you can see, the medics are in the back, the movement isn't all that good, and that's some very nice clipping. I don't know if that's intentional or accidental, but as you can see, all the Marines bite the dust. A couple still advance, a tank does advance, but the main body of Marines is completely messed up by this Muta wave, and now the medics are going to die as well, and that is a big setback to Martin Worker's Literbot. Now, at the other end of the map, a couple of Marines have reached the Zerglings. Look at the kiting. That's very impressive. Of course, if you look at the APM, Literbot is now doing 13k and Steamhammer is doing 8k. That's nothing to sniff at, and it's even messing up the MCA 64 launchers graphics. And, well, always nice to pick up some Marines, but you should do the tank as well. And although these are the best bots we've got at the moment, don't be surprised if they do fairly stupid things, because things that are difficult for a human to do, like spamming 13k APM over a longer period of time, or even over 1 minute, I should say, it would melt your mouse, my mouse probably, are not necessarily hard for a computer, and vice versa. So as a human player we'll see, well, there are mutas over here, let's not treacle these units in one at a time. For a computer, if it's been programmed to do so and it has had success versus other AIs, it is very hard to not do that anymore. Now, Literbot with the tech, and the bunker is under attack. All the Marines are out of it. The Marines are fighting in the open, and the turret is holding on, but oh, that wasn't brilliant. It's 4 kills on our radiate. And as you can see, many more bio units are dying, but mutant numbers are thinning, and Literbot is moving up in supply. Meanwhile, more barracks being built. Upgrades. Have we got any upgrades? Where is the eBay? It's somewhere. Oh, it's here. It's building the armor upgrade now. It's going for the attack, but as you can see, all the mutas are nearly gone, and that was a bit of a supply problem. So Literbot holding its own, wasting a lot of units on the first push, but now in convincing fashion moving into the base. And by tournament rules I have to let this play, because you never know, Literbot might keel over and do something stupid. That said, I think, oh, there is a third up. That said, Literbot does move on onto the round of 8, and it's the GG. So Literbot, first player into the round of 8, congratulations, moving on to the next game. And as we go play by play, I'll explain a little bit about the challenges in AI in general and Brute War AI, and I'll also try to talk about the game. So this game, we've got Woolybot, placed second in the students division, and we've got Seizure Shoes, Overkill, and Overkill is the only bot we've got at the moment from China. Of course, China's got a very lively brute war, human brute war scene, so it's always great to have some competition from there. I hope that the audience from China will watch this too, because Overkill took third place at CIG, that's another one of the big 3 tournaments in Brute War AI, and is very, very good. So that said, we've got a 2-gate on our hands, and we've got Scouting Probe, Spawning Pool coming up, and another hatchery. Nice timing, but the first Zealots move out already. Now this is a time where you need some defenses stat, and we've got 4, 5 Zerglings, and the first one dies already. I'd say you need a lot of units really fast. Now going to speed it up because this is a battle between Zealots and nothing, and Zealots and nothing, and Zealots versus drones. Looks a lot like this, actually. So, Kill, although it's got the superior plan, it looks like, with the lair, going to try and do something tech-wise. Falling to a Zealot Rush, if you have ever played against the built-in Brute War AI, the one which comes with the game, that 17 Zealot push is one of the strongest still. So, that is something to take into account, and I'll have to, or not pause it, I'll talk through it in the start of the next game. It was a very quick one. One of the things you have in AI in Brute War is you've got scripted bots which just do one thing, and you've got adaptive bots. And as we are still starting out on this journey towards beating really good human players, the part of the percentage of scripted bots is still very great, and the actual AI, like decision making, we've got one that does neural nets, and it's just very, very complex. Literbot, which we saw earlier, has got Monte Carlo tree search and an influence map system, which we'll talk about more in the round of 8, I suppose. Yeah, Literbot did make it there. So most of what you see has been coded by humans, which does not mean that these bots are stupid. It just means that coding real AI, so from scratch, that is a robot watching this with robot eyes, controlling the computer with a mouse. That's just not there at the moment. These are all software robots which just get their information from the game and from scouting. So it's a bit of a compromise. It's not a fully fledged AI playing Android yet. These are software robots doing their best with what they can from the game, and with a lot of input from the humans. That is not to say they are not adaptive, so they all scout, and depending on the scouting information, they build different unit compositions, try to do different stuff, and that is also some kind of feedback using that is very hard to do already, and that's the same thing human players do if they play this game. A human player, by comparison, has got about 300 billion neurons in his head and is using that to play a game. These bots are usually of the size somewhere between 1 and 10 megabytes and are using a single core CPU core at 2.5 gigahertz with 4 gigabytes of RAM. Compared to the human mind, that is absolutely nothing. Then again, it is a specific Brute War AI, so if you were to let these Brute War AIs play StarCraft 2, oh, and look at that, the pressure is too much for Dave Churchill. Chris Coates is SSCAIT bot, very aggressive, going for the throat. The SUVs come off the line, and they barely hold, and where is the follow-up? There is no follow-up, because SSCAIT bot went and did something else with, oh god, that's not good. Oh, and the Marine Micro is so bad, all the Marines die, and I think the SUVs have to come off the line again. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, in the end he might lose the entire game to 2 Zerglings. That is not good. That is not good. Holding off the Zerglings first time and then losing to only 2 in the next, and this one Marine hasn't got them. Oh, very close. So we've got one Ling on the loose in the enemy base, in the Terran base. Of course, I shouldn't take sides in this, but I'm a bit of a... I'm not really the furry kind of Zerg lover, but I do love the Zerg race most because well, I don't know, it's too long to get into that. So we've got 2 more links coming on the way, about to tear up the Terran base. I'll be interested to see what's going on here because there are a lot of minerals stacked, and I think this is going to be some kind of mutalisc timing. As you can see, this Zerg bot, called Triple Z K bot, so 3 Z's and then K bot, decided to do a muta strategy, didn't realize that it had the game won already, and now these 3 links are just doing their work. Meanwhile, the steam engine is turning slowly and mutas are being built. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit. So again, we see a bot with a huge human component, and moving on to the round of 8. Congratulations, Chris Cokes with Triple Z K bot. Now, pardon me if I'm rushing on a bit, because there are more games to come. And the 4th game of the round of 16 of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2016 Finals is Ironbot, and that is the new guy on the block, the new bot on the block, by Igor Dimitrievich from France, and the opponent is Ice Labs. Ice Labs from the Ritsumeikan University, Japan, has been worked on by a team of students, master students, and strange as it seems, still has a relatively large component of AI research in it. That is because Ice Labs is a faculty dedicated to AI in games and game design, and it has been a group effort of these students to make one StarCraft bot. What we see a lot is that, like these old 19th century noble scientists with a lot of money, they like to do things on their own and just do their own little reinventing the wheel kind of thing, which is all kind of nice if you are building a car, but at the end of the 20th century, if you were to build a car on your own, you need more than that now, really, to make it competitive. And this Icebot, one main features are very stable micro and macro and decision making. Oh, and here we go. Ironbot by Igor Dimitrievich, very strong on the harass. We see Vulture mines coming up and the starport too. Oh, I did miss that. That's a bit sloppy of me to move out into the game without paying heed to what actually is going on. But we got a siege tank now, and I think that these vultures will be driven back to base. As you can see, they don't want to pick a fight with this tank. That is some very good decision making, and this tank is using the terrain to its advantage. As we can see now, it only sees up to here, but the vision of the supply depot is allowing the tank to shoot through that bit of terrain while being shielded itself. Very well done, and that's something that Icebot has got, which modern bots still lack. Is very good terrain awareness. It can actively use high ground to claim a good siege tank position. Now there should be some marines into the bunker, and now there is one. Oh golly golly. There are vultures all over the place, now in the main base with an SCV and all, so that's not good. Icebot now is stretched. The SCVs have to mine here and there and defend themselves against wraiths and vultures, and look at that, that's very cute. That's something you can use that 2k APM for, to just repair all the units. Now that is something that an AI is very good at. It can keep its money down, it can expand, harass with all units at the same time, and never break a sweat. So, nice contain coming up. Icebot has stabilized a bit. Of course, there is still a Wraith with 6 kills and a Vulture with 5 kills in the main. And the Wraith keeps going to town on these poor SCVs. This tank is under fire, and we've got one more Wraith, which is now being repaired. The Marines are going absolutely crazy because there is so much going on. Vultures moving in and out, Wraiths flying over, and there is even a Wraith in the main. So as soon as this tank is out, the Vulture will be back, and it has got 7 kills. The Wraith has got 12 kills, so 19 SCV kills between them. And now the Marines are being engaged head-on by these Wraiths. We've got 3 now. That was the end of the main base, and we have got a handful of SCVs in the natural. Meanwhile, nice trick mines placed at the expansion, now with siege tanks of its own, and it's easy to see why Ironbot is one of the main contenders for this title. It is so very aggressive, and as you can see, only one tank remaining. The vultures swooped in, killed it off. It knew it was strong enough, and now it's going to take its sweet time devouring the enemy base. So we're going to speed it up just a little bit more because we will have more games of Ironbot. Unfortunately not of Icebot in the round of 8, but we are only halfway through this round of 16 bracket, and I have been asked to keep the broadcast a little bit short, so that's what I'm going to do as much as possible. But these games are very, very beautiful, and there goes the last barracks. And now Ironbot officially makes it into the round of 8 of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament Finals 2016. If you're asking, well, why do you say 2016 is now 2017? That is because, for historic reasons, we start the round robin, the group phase, in the Christmas holidays, so the coders, which usually are from the academic field of work, have some time to make their last changes, and then we do the playing of the games and no updates in between, and the casting in the near year after. So that's for that. Now we've got B-Bot, a new Terran bot which made it into round of 16. This is very, very good, especially if there are so many good bots in the tournament. We had about 45 this year, which is not a record, but I think we deactivated about half of the bots which hadn't been updated, or the author of those bots did not claim re-entry into this year's tournament. So to keep it respectable, because we have about 15 4-pooling Zerg bots, which is not really all that fun to watch. They are very easy to make. They're an example bot, so if you visit our website, you can easily, there are tutorials there to learn how to code Brutal AI. I will not say it is easy because it's not, but one of the things you can find there is an example bot which does a 4-pool, and we have quite a lot of those on the server deactivated at this moment because it's just not much fun, and it doesn't really show the effort that the other bot coders have to put in to make a decent bot. So, V-Bot, Terran Revelation, going for some kind of mech build. At the other end of the map, we've got Gateway Play with goons. I don't know if they have got range. Oh, the goons have now moved in, but they're a little bit late, so that might be a problem. Now with siege mode 2, I don't think it's going to work, but the tank is getting very, very low, still dishing out the damage, and it is... Oh, the SCVs come off the line to ward off the goons. And the tank dies. That's bad, because now we've got 3 goons, 1 tank on the high ground is a bit far off, and lots of SCVs are dying. Behind that, be Reaver, which is the Protoss Revelation, and if I may be honest to myself, I may say that B Reaver is a candidate to take the Royal Road, and the Royal Road is what was called in the OSL the On-Game Net Star League. Bit of brutal history, was the most important professional human StarCraft league. A Royal Roader was one who, upon first entering the tournament elimination stage, won it. So that says quite a lot, especially since there are so many bots and so many people have spent so many hours in coding these bots. And by the looks of it, this very aggressive gateway build does exactly that. Cleans up the mech build, defense B-bot were not quite good enough, and with the added income from this natural base, any tech we should look out for. We've got a Citadel, a Dune, we've got the weapons upgrade coming up, and we've just got more and more units streaming across the map. We've got 1 SCV left, it's running for its lives, being tagged by a Zealot. Oh, no, it lives. Oh, that's cute. And I don't know where it's going to go. It's going in circles, going in circles. Meanwhile, the Terran base looks like this, and we've got a command center. So GG, B-bot eliminated. I hope that it will be updated for next year's tournament, or for the AIIDE and CIG tournaments will be later this year, near the summer holiday. Another landmark in academia. B-Reaver moving on to the round of 16, thus taking the first step on the Royal Road. Now, next, because there are more games to come, and if you've got more games to come, there are more games to cast. We have got for you another game, and these two gentle bots are from the ancient times of Proof AI. They are very good. We've got Thomas Weide, the bot's known as XIMP, XEIMP, and it will do for us the carrier trick. And if you don't know what the carrier trick is, it is the single most effective strategy in Brute AI. At its peak, it had an ELO rating of about 6,000, and that is nearly impossible. But if you play thousands and thousands of games, and no other bot can counter it, you get up to there. Of course, now we've got Crazio Krasmer Krastab runs an ELO for AIs. It's using a newer system, not going as far as 6,000 points, but it used to be pretty dominant in the sea. So as you can see, walling off with cannons, and at the other end just doing very preciously little, not even a single combat unit, going for a very quick expansion and more cannons. At the other end of the map we've got Andrew Smith, and Andrew Smith bot is called SkyNet. SkyNet, named after the AI in the Terminator series. Of course, I think when this bot came out there was only one Terminator, which was much better than the last one because I turned it off halfway. I hate that. It was pretty bad. And Skynet's pretty good. I don't think it will be winning this time because it hasn't been updated in 3 years. But it shows great variation in play. It can use Storm, Reavers, all kinds of units. The only unit it does not use is Arbiters, and that is very unusual for a bot that old. Now, XIMP is sitting safely behind a lot of cannons, and here we go, we've got a carrier fleet building. So I think, oh well, we've got a Reaver. I think that Skynet with a very late natural should do some kind of pressure, but perhaps it has seen the cannons and thought, well, let's not do that today. We'll have to do something quickly because carriers are going to move out. And here we go. Here we go. Chasing off the probe, moving back to base. So we've got 3 carriers out already, and 4th being built. Gas being the bottleneck at this point. Lots of minerals, and of course you can spend those in cannons. So the build is balanced by a human, but it's very well balanced. Skynet on the other end is going for a lot of gateway units with a couple of Reavers, and these these carriers have found a Protoss base of Skynet's, taking it down immediately. And this is something which you should take into consideration as well. If you take the long way, oh, we've got a carrier fight on our hands. And this is something exceptional because these goons, they know to target the carriers, and I can demonstrate that by clicking on one, I hope. Oh no, oh yeah, missed it. But for AIs, it's very hard to make the distinction between something that's dangerous and something that is carrying the danger. So what usually happens if they see a cloud of these interceptors and they're going to slow down to a normal fast speed, they try to attack these interceptors which move in and out of range, and they get all kinds of messed up. Meanwhile, the carriers with their focus fire, they can take down the anti-air, the technology, and just do a lot of damage in general. As you can see, these units moving back and forth, but these interceptors here are not really doing anything. You could just hold them and they'd fire more effectively. A human player would certainly do that. Now the carriers have flown into mischief because there are over some goons, which is not very good for them, of course. For the goons it's pretty okay. Yeah, there it goes. So still the goons get messed up with the zealots and the probes. We've got a huge congestion at the ramp. But I think that in the end, yeah, the carriers will die. So the first 4 carriers fall. Oh, there's one here still, with 3 kills. And the goons are just going absolutely crazy, not firing at the interceptors, not firing at the carriers. They are just getting messed up by this unusual attacking pattern of interceptors. Now, next wave is moving up, and more carriers should be on the way. That's another thing that has been coded into this bot to take the long way around, and if you do that, you are going to find all the bases, because most Brood War maps have been arranged so that all the bases are on the outside. And a human player, of course, would make a some kind of air defense here if the enemy kept doing that. But that's a bit of the problem with a very specific strategy, hard-coded by a human, compared to general solution findings of these bots. And as we can see, Andrew Smith can't really devise a strategy. There are more modern bots who can and will hold off Ximp, and Ximp only does the carrier thing, so it always loses to those bots, and that's the other end. So the more modern bots have got more strategies and tactics at their disposal, which is very good because they can do something else and won't lose to a one-trick pony. Going to speed up the game just a little bit because we've got a huge Skynet army here. We've got carriers in the main. Now the goons come in and clean it up again. So that's the goons. And the next group is coming again. I think it will be cleaned up just as well. Oh, and that's a pity because I didn't show that. But here or there was the cybernetics core, and now no more goons can be made at all. And although Skynet is all over the map and has got a lot of money and income, at this moment it's got a lot of goons, about 26, but they are not getting replenished, and gateways are under attack as well, so that's a huge difficulty. These goons are messed up, these ones are messed up too, and now Skynet is in a lot of trouble. Ximp in a dominating position, just slapping down the cannons by the 10 at the time, and more carriers on the way. So we just had 28 goons, now only 21 left. Only one gateway and it's building zealots. The technology has not yet been rebuilt. Skynet frantically trying to rebuild the gateways here and there, but it's going to need a long time, and meanwhile there are about 8 carriers in the main base, which is not good. Not good at all, and I think that you should make some kind of a push or pull them back or do something, but all the carriers are all over this, and the main base is gone, practically the natural is gone. We've got a huge, or relatively huge army here, and now they're going for an attack, so into the cannons, and of course they can take down these cannons. It's not really difficult if you've got a good gateway army, but here come the carriers back to defend, and all the goons are dead, so what are you going to do with a Reaver and a handful of zealots? Even got some goons of the home guard, just posturing around here, around the main base, and now it's just carriers all over the map, and I think this is the last base. Oh no, this will be the last base of Skynet. Of course Skynet will rebuild with time, but I don't think it will be given that much time, because there is just so much carrier-ish going on across the map. And let me catch an interceptor with +3 weapons upgrade. Skynet rebuilding for what it's worth, but there are just too many carriers, and look at that. We have got, how many have we got? We've got 16 carriers, 4 groups of 4. And where is the last base? Oh, that was the last base. GG, Ximp moving on to the round of 8, and I wouldn't be surprised if it would even move up to the round of 4 after that, but will depend on a draw and the game it will play there. So, not yet the last game, but the game before that. We have got Flash, and Flash is of course named after Lee Young-ho, the most successful Brood War player ever, and I say that as both a Savior and a Jaedong fan, so yeah, it's pretty, it was pretty impressive in his days. Of course the professional Brood War scene is no more. There are a lot of casters and video jockeys on Africa, and a couple of tournaments, but it's not really the thing it used to be, not with the tens and thousands of live viewers and millions over the 2 dedicated television channels in South Korea dedicated to one game, StarCraft Brood War. It's not like that anymore, and it's okay, but it's a pity. I used to like it. So on the other end of the map we've got Crazio, and Crazio has been with us for a long time, has been updating his bot with well, great perseverance really. Has been pushing updates about every week, which is really impressive. Hasn't done anything spectacular yet, but the bot is very stable, and here we go, defense is on. The zealots are going for the SCVs. That may be a valid choice, but because they can take quite a pounding from these Marines, the Marines are not really powerful yet, and a lot of mining time has already been lost. So that's, I think, a bit of a draw. Meanwhile, we've got more gateways coming up. We've got a cyber core and no more probes, so I don't know. Oh, more probes coming up. So that's pretty good. Crazio going for siege mode, and the Vulture. Of course, Vulture against Zealots very, very good because it can out-micro them. But for the moment, it's going to play defensive and just sit back, enjoy the show. Now, Goons coming up, and we've got a bit of a skirmish again on our hands, but with a tank and a Zealot and all the Marines in the bunker. Oh, that's an interesting placement. Ooh. I like that siege tank sound. It's one of the best game sounds in the world. If you have ever played StarCraft Brood War as a human yourself, the moment you get a first siege tank, it can't siege, but then after a couple of levels it can siege, and you got that sieging sound, and if the enemy comes, then boom! It's really... Oh, I love it. If only you were younger. It's okay. It's okay. It's a beautiful game. Still, for AIs and for humans. So, Flash going for gateway units and taking another base. Crazio delaying the natural expansion, going for some siege tanks, taking its time to kill off all the goons and the occasional probe that's venturing into the natural of the Terran. And Flash, I don't know, it's losing a lot of units, and now a Vulture is out, so catching some siege tank shots. Oh, nice bit of mines across the map. And another goon got shot. Still no natural for Crazio, so even though Flash is wasting units, I should say, with the extra production of the natural, I think it could keep up. And here we go, Crazio going for more factories, more supply depots, and still no natural. So at this point, Flash could just take a third or a fourth, make more units, but meanwhile it's content to sit back, pick off a handful of Vultures. Ooh, that was an ugly mine hit. So Crazio getting its shots in with the siege tank, with the Vultures, meanwhile dropping some mines across the map. I think we are now about even. Oh, and here we go. That looks like it's going to be a command center, and it is. So at this point, Flash should either do so. Oh, that's not good. That's not good. 5, 6 skills. That's quite a lot for one Vulture. That's quite a lot for one Vulture, and I think that Flash is trying to build something here, but hasn't got the money. Meanwhile, the Terran army is inching forward and killing off 3 more goons. As you can see, Crazio down in supply a little bit, but these are all very expensive and very strong siege tanks, which do a lot of damage. +1 weapons is coming up. Siege tank in the mineral line as well, and the natural of Crazios will be finished momentarily. So that will be a huge problem for Flash if it doesn't expand more or get something done, because if it doesn't upgrade these gateway units, they're going to get comparatively weaker and weaker compared to the siege tank, and as the Terran bio ball is growing, well, it's not about death balls like SE2, StarCraft 2, but the mech armies generally get stronger if they get more supply among their rank and file, if that makes any sense. So, nice gateway army, no upgrades, main mining out, no extra expansion in sight, and Crazio continually building more and more siege tanks, building another factory, main mining out as well, but already the third is up and running, and at this time the Protoss is it's built a carrier. And it wastes all its goons on some kind of wild attack. And now we have got what's about 100 supply mech army. Oh really? 100 supply mech army advancing upon the Protoss base with a main that's mined out. No tech, but a carrier and gateway, and the naturals mined out nearly too. So that is a bit of a problem. And Crazio is about to move on to the round of 8. I'd really like for Crazio to go far in this tournament, because he's working so hard and he's one of the nicest guys ever. He's helped so many new players code their bots and give all kinds of useful advice. It's really a nice, it's really a nice guy, and his bot is getting so good. So I think that it's, depending on which enemies it will meet, it can go really deep into this tournament. It has already, because the round of 8, it is in the top 12% of bots in this tournament already. And the last carriers haven't got any interceptors, so that's the game. Flash, thank you for competing, but you should expand a little bit more. Oh, there goes the third. And Crazio says, GG, well played, Flash. And I don't know if that's ironic or not, but knowing Krasimir, it's just a nice thing to say. So now going on to the last game, and I haven't been saving this for last. I've gotten this game by Michael Cherticki. If I'm pronouncing that right, it's a Czech name, and I am horrible at Slavic languages. Call him Michael because that's just Michael. Michael has sent me these games, and this was the last one, and this I think has the potential to be a very good game because we have got as the Red Zerg Marian Diveka, and Marian is the author of a bot known as Killerbot. Hadn't been updating his bot for years. Then, before last year's tournament, came back, did one update, and continued to win the tournament, which is very impressive. And it was very, very aggressive with an excellent Hydra build, punishing the carrier bot Xim we saw a couple of games ago. So, last year's winner versus the winner of CIG, and last year's CIG, that is TSUMU. TSUMU, I think, is one of the most gifted Brute War AI authors in existence at the moment, because he has been so very active. He has made a Terran, a Zerg, and a Protoss bot, which are among the top bots at this moment. Hasn't been working on his bots so much, has been working on something called Open Brute War. Open Brute War, like Open Roller Coaster Tycoon and Open Red Alert 2, aims at emulating the game. You need the original game files, like the graphics and the sounds and whatnot, but the mechanics are now entirely being duplicated and made open source. For academia, that's important because now, or once the project is finished, you will be able to run games in parallel and run them very fast, run them on Linux, and those are all things that you need in AI research, because if you want to have a learning AI, it will need to play lots and lots of games, and by lots and lots of games we mean thousands, tens of thousands. And with the current Brute War we have, although we've got all kinds of nice programs to help it, it's just not feasible to let it play tens and thousands of games, and if you're not satisfied with that, run 100,000 more. It's hard to do, and with Open Brute War you'll be able to do that. So along with Shield Battery, which aims at the human audience, I think that Open Brute War is one of the big tournament projects in Brute War which deserve more attention. But back to the game, because TSUMU has selected his Protoss, which is his most recent bot, to fight for him in this tournament, and it is magnificent. So going for Corsairs and Gateways and a Robo Bay. Meanwhile, Killerbot going for, it looks like Hydras again. Looks like Hydras with the weapons upgrade, and where's the third base with the Hydra Den? With the Hydra attack range. So Hydras are very effective against Protoss, because Protoss are rather slow, especially if you wall in with cannons. Of course, the Corsairs can do a little bit of harassment. Oh, and they find their first two Overlords. Have they got kills yet? No. The Hydra is trying to chase them off, but there are two Corsairs and only one Hydra, and now the Hydra is going to do something else. And I think that will be the first Overlord kill of these two Corsairs. Oh, Dolly. We have got some... oh, and this Reaver arriving just in time, because all these Hydras would have, well, in double the numbers, would have made... Ooh, that's a very nice hit. Would have made very short work of these cannons. But the Reaver is holding strong, and the Zealot... Oh, that's another kill, and I can't see the kill counter because it's... Boom, another two. That's doing so much damage. Meanwhile, the Corsairs, we've got 0 kills. They've only got 1 Overlord kill, but it's annoying, and they provide scouting, so pretty okay for the time being. 5 kills on this Reaver, and we've now got a shuttle along with it. Let's see how this goes. So, pick up, and now the Zealots move in, and it gets dropped, and it fires a Scarab. Boom, another 2 dead. So that's about 7. And you can see how very effective one Reaver can be, with shuttle support or without shuttle support. Oh, and that's a lot of Hydras, but they don't look too happy about facing that Reaver, because that Reaver has been killing them so effectively already. and now it's got 9 kills. 9 kills, and that makes 10. Zerg, however, taking its 4th base, and although the Corsairs are doing their level best, 1 kill here, 1 kill there, they've killed 2 Overlords. They are detaining quite a number of Hydras at home, and I think that 11 kills, will it get off another Scarab? No, it won't. Oh, we've got another one. So this is one of the very beautiful things of Brute AI, and I like to cast these games in high definition because then you have the better chance of catching both shuttle Reavers being microed independently. Ooh, that was a really ugly Reaver shot. And another one. So many kills. It's really a thing. So if you can, and the micro is pretty good, even for a human player it would be pretty good. If you have 2 independently microed shuttle players, you'd be, even Bisu can't do that himself. So, and it looks like we'll have a 3rd set of shuttle and Reaver before long. Oh, that didn't went. Look at that. Going for the Sunken and the Hydra. And oh, that's cute. The shuttle is picking up the Reaver as soon as the underground, what's it called, subterranean tentacle gets launched. And we've got a shuttle here, and with the Corsairs, god, this will be impossible to cast, but I'm going to give it a go. All the Hydras with speed, of course, are very fast. The Overlords get a nip in the tentacles every now and a while from this Corsair. But I think that Zerg is having a very hard time, and 3... Oh, look at that, that's so very cute. We've got 3 Zealots, small strike falls, and it looks like the Sunkers will be up just in time, but the Zealots go at it. And of course it will lose 100 HP upon finishing. But with the drones and the Zealots make it out of there, that's a very close hold for this base. And with the 4th base, it will be easier for Zerg to hold it off, because the Hydra numbers are now at home. But look at this Reaver, it's just going to... with a couple of Hydras, Zealots and Corsairs as defense. And look at that, this is the main base of Zerg, this is cruel. So this is what last year's winners looks like, and now with the 3rd base by TSMU. And I think, yeah, here we go, we get more shuttles. Will we get another shuttle as well? Yeah, we've got another shuttled Reaver coming up. How many have we got? We've got 4 Reavers and 4 shuttles flying around somewhere. Corsairs here over the cliffs, killing the Overlords, now taking the middle base. And he's... oh, this is just cruel, because these Hydras don't stand a chance in insufficient numbers to these Reavers. Meanwhile, the Corsairs take their time devouring the Overlords, and this is why TSMU is such a beautiful bot and such a very good coder. It's just outrageous, and if you ever let to get it, if you visit our website, it's here at the end, at the bottom. You can learn how to play against these bots, and if you want to play against TSMU, don't ever let it get to this point, because you will be harassed to death. Now, TSMU has 140 supply, Killabot at below 40. Oh, and that Scarab was very lucky. So, we've got one here, we've got one here, we've got 2 or 3 here, and nothing there. So, to say Killabot is in dire straits would be an understatement. TSMU finding a way to prod and to attack all across the map. Boom, another one. Oh, 25 kills on this Reaver, that's absolutely ludicrous. 25 kills in a single Reaver, 26. Oh, and that went blind, well, just as well. That one too. Boom. And as you can see, these Hydras don't have an answer to all these Reavers. The main looks like that. This base looked like... oh god, we've only got one base in operation at this moment. And Killerpot is having a hard time pushing out an Overlord. He's got 9 supply or 15 now, but immediately it's being beset by these Corsairs. And these Vultures, they still daren't move in. There are just so many shuttled Reavers all across the map, and Killabot is reduced to one base with 5 Hydras, 3 drones and 1 Overlord. holding strong, but TSCMU is growing in strength now, almost max, has got 5 bases, well 4 mining and the main base of course, going for more pylons and still building reavers and shuttles. And there goes the last overlord, so it's now 6. Oh, there we go. Finally the zealots swoop in and kill off the natural. The main could be killed off as well, and there it goes, but the zealots move back again. Going for an overlord, and these two bases at the edges seem relatively uninfested by these. Look at that! Oh god, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's not every day you see 7 shuttles in Reavers being migrated independently, and finally there is a reason for having 3k APM. But here they come, and I imagine these, if they could hear, they would be hearing something like the Ride of the Valkyries from Apocalypse Now. But it's just not fun anymore, and just keep hovering around, and I don't really know what TSU is doing at this point. Oh, look at that, it's waiting for the scout, and that's just BM in my opinion, just to take the enemy apart with Zealots, Corsairs and Reavers, and then make a scout. No, there is one more, there is another scout, where is it? It's somewhere. I don't know. Somewhere is another scout, and I don't know if we're going to find it. We've got one here, and one here. So we've got 2 scouts, a hell of a lot of shuttles and reavers, and this is what the Protoss Air Force looks like at this moment. For some reason TSCMU is not really going to... what the hell is going on here? Waiting for the scout to do its job probably. Oh, and there it goes. So now the shuttle has landed. Taking down... oh, perhaps the probe might actually kill it if there are enough duds. No, it dies in the end. And the scout is killing the main. The zealots and Reaver are killing this base. What the hell is going on here? TSCMU with a brilliant strategy, moving, I hope, if it ever is going to finish, moving on into the round of 8. And apparently, oh no, the zealots come to help as well, that's cute. And there it goes. So now all the enemy forces converge upon this last Hydra Den, I hope. Someday. I really don't know what's going on. So this was the round of 16 of the Student StarCraft AI Tournament 2016 Finals. We will be back with the round of 8. Meanwhile, if you like what you see, visit our websites. You can watch games all day long. They are playing 24/7. And you can also learn how to play against them. You can also learn how to code them. We'll be back. Thank you for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.